Hello and welcome back to the People and Culture discussions here on the Snippet 3 podcast. And we have a guest today that we're going to discuss all things about L&D. Hello, Nassia.
Hi, Anna.
Nassia, we are operating in an environment of constant regulatory updates, new technologies, and of course, expanding learning pathways. So, how do maritime professionals avoid becoming overwhelmed and instead stay genuinely aligned and competent amid such continuous changes?
Yeah, thank you for this question, Joanna. Um, we live in very interesting times in shipping, don't we? And I believe that the way the industry has been evolving for at least the last 2 decades, it shows that we have been operating in an environment of continuous regulatory updates, phenomenal technological advancements. We're talking about AI, right? And that, in my world, translates into learning pathways, of course. But starting, I would say that the real challenge, I believe the real challenge is not about change itself. Perhaps it's more about how we relate to change and how do we respond to it. So I would say the first step is, to address the feeling of being overwhelmed. How do we deal with this? And so the first step is accepting it. Accept that the change is happening and we can't really control it. We cannot and we should not resist change. And the only thing we can actually control is how we relate to it. How do we engage with change and what do we do about it? And of course, that makes me think of leadership. So I would say after the universal acceptance around the conditions that we operate within, the second step would be around accepting the nature of not knowing everything, which I know it's very uncommon. It's not a comfortable feeling, especially when we talk about leadership. But it's important to highlight this on a leadership level and then throughout among the organization. Accepting the fact that we don't know everything is the beginning for learning about the unknown, exploring it with openness, less judgment, and being open to change the way we think, the way we work, and the way we interact under new conditions. So once we accept all this, again wearing my L&D hat, I'm thinking about learning design. So instead of asking how do we comply with the new regulations and the new systems, how about asking what capabilities do we need to have now to perform our roles now? So bringing ourselves to the present moment. And that makes me think of competence in terms of, decision making and judgment and confidence in our roles, which is very important under all these new circumstances. And that's a segue to building learning programs differently as a learning rhythm across the organization. So instead of one-off intervention, we can have repeated cycles, let's say monthly check-ins or quarterly deep dives into content, so that there is a continuous flow of support for the individual, which reduces anxiety and makes them feel more confident.
Thank you very much, Nassia, for being here with us.
Thank you, Anna.